Vergil stopped walking away after that and didn't move for a good 10 seconds before turning around to face the three Ambu. Walking back up to them, Vergil stopped less than 2 steps from them as he turned to face the barrier again, and unsheathed Yamato with it spinning above his head and brought it down hard to his side before sheathing it again with a slow yet calculating grace. "It is done," said Vergil, as his sword was fully sheathed with a clink sound before the purple barrier collapsed in front of him, and the trio that was once in the barrier looked at him in shock. "Thank you for helping the Hoka-ah," said the second Ambu, but screamed in pain with the others, as they were cut into hundreds of pieces and died a painful death. "I said I would help the Hokage. I never said I would spare you maggots for your past transgressions," said Vergil as he walked. How is that possible?" said Orochimaru, as saw the silvered-haired entity looking at him, and then realized this was his chance before striking out at Sarutobi with his ever-trusty Kusanagi. Jiraiya saw this and was able to flank Orochimaru, knocking him away from their sensei before the poisonous sword could cut the old man. "Protect Orochimaru-sama," said Kidomaru, as he along with the other Sound 4 now moved to stop Vergil's advance, and tried not to feel intimidated by the smirk on the half-devil's face. "Idiots," said Vergil before he moved faster. Then they could see and knocked the 4 down using taijutsu mixed with using his sheathed sword in the process. The Sound 4 were down on the ground unconscious before another team of Ambu arrived on the scene, and Vergil walked over them to get to a now at a disadvantaged Orochimaru. "Surrender, Orochimaru, your plan has been ruined. You're surrounded on all sides, and you have no means to beat us," said Sarutobi, as he saw Jiraiya move to his right, and saw Vergil on the left with Ambu ready to strike from the Sanin's back. "Sorry, Sarutobi-sense, but you should know that a shinobi of my caliber always has a backup plan, and has the means to escape," said Orochimaru, as all of the Ambu behind the Sanin took out the others, and then removed his mask to reveal himself to be none other than Kabuto. "Time to go, Orochimaru-sama," said Kabuto, as he went through hand signs and shot out in a ranked fire jutsu at the trio before him. "Not yet. Keep them occupied a little longer, Kabuto." "Summoning art? Impure world resurrection," said Orochimaru, as he managed to raise a coffin with the word "first" written on it, and grinned knowing the odds just went up in his favor. "You need to stop him, Jiraiya," said Sarutobi, as he was on tired legs and saw Vergil spinning his sword in such a way that it blocked the fire jutsu from hitting them, so it would give Jiraiya a chance to attack his former teammate. Seeing this, Kabuto cancelled the fire jutsu and moved to intercept Jiraiya in order to hold him off long enough using chakra scalpels, and kept the Toad Sanin from getting close. With the coffin down, the Shodaime of the Leaf came walking out looking well preserved, and looked at the old Hokage along with Vergil with sleepy-looking eyes. "Is that you, Sarutobi? You've gotten old since last I saw you. Who is the silvered-haired boy with the sword?" "A student of yours," said the Shodaime, as he saw Vergil bow out of respect, and the Sandaime trying to stand. "More like a grandson than anything, though not by blood, I'm afraid." "Yet I wish he was," said Hiruzen, as he smiled at Naruto, who smiled back, and then turned to face the dead man now standing before them. "I see he inherited your hair color," said the Shodaime, as he saw Vergil's smirk, and the Sandaime's sweat drop. "What is it about me being old that everyone finds amusing to poke fun at?" thought the Sandaime, as he focused on the Shodaime, and Orochimaru standing right behind him with a kunai with a seal tag hanging off of it.
Enough of this reunion. I originally planned for you to fight all of your predecessors, Sarutobi-sensei, but one of them is more than enough to said Orochimaru, as he screamed out in pain when he lost the seal tag on his kunai along with his right arm after Vergil threw Yamato at the Shodaime's face with enough force that it would go right through the skull, hit the seal tag making the dead body decompose into the original body that was used in the sacrifice, and tear the Sanin's arm clean off.
No one saw Vergil's right hand looked unnatural before it transformed back to a human appearance. "You were saying Orochi Timi," said Vergil, as he saw Orochimaru stumble back in pain, and was soon supported by Kabuto, who came to the aid of his master, and they immediately fled with some sound shinobi that broke away from the stadium fighting. "Should we pursue?" said Jiraiya, as he looked at the tired Sandaime, and saw this battle took its toll on him both physically as well as psychologically from memories of years past. "No, Orochimaru will make another appearance again, eventually despite his failure here today. In the meantime, we must tend to those injured and see what has happened during little confrontation with my traitorous student," said the Sandaime, as he saw the all people in the stadium were safe, and the allied forces that invaded that weren't killed had been captured along with the Kazukige's siblings.
Though from the looks of things, the older siblings didn't put up a fight, and their sensei Baki was currently dead at the hands of a female Anbu with purple hair wrapped in a ponytail.
Retrieving his sword, Vergil sheathed his trusty blade before turning to face the body a weak, as well as a barely alive Tsuchikin, letting out a small whimper from her mouth. And her eyes staring up at the half-devil also indicated she wasn't dead. Picking her up, Vergil turned to the Sandaime before nodding his head, and then vanished to take Kin to the hospital to be revived into a state of better health in order to get answers out of her later. "Things have definitely turned interesting around here," said Jiraiya as he saw his new student leave, and then looked to his sensei, having finally stabilized his breath with Enma in animal form supporting him. "Yes. Though I'm afraid things will get more difficult for Vergil because of the councils, as they will want answers to this newfound power, and may demand it be sealed up in the name of village security," said the Sandaime, as they had used that excuse before, and right after when the QB attacked to keep the poor boy crippled in developing into a fine shinobi.
"Well, I have your back in this one, Sensei, and I doubt the clients will enjoy seeing the last Namikaze being treated unkindly by those traditionalists that cling to the old ways that don't work well in this world," said Jiraiya, as he patted his sensei on the back, and the Sandaime nodded in agreement. "Yes. Soon word will spread of Konoha's last Namikaze, and I have a feeling the boy will become quite famous like his father," said the Sandaime, as he smirked at the thought of Vergil sticking it to those old fools, and obtaining what they would deny the half-devil. "You may have to revoke your law on him," said Jiraiya, as many questions were going to be asked by everyone, and the law pertaining to Vergil made things complicated. It said you could mention the boy having the Kyuubi sealed inside of Vergil, but it didn't forbid anyone from calling the boy other names, and let the hint linger long enough for the younger generation to pick up what was meant by it. "I know. Though it may happen with Vergil going along with you to retrieve my second successor," said the third, as he turned to his student, and saw Jiraiya raise an eyebrow at that.
"A successor? Who?" said Jiraiya, as he wondered just who had the right and the might to be the sixth Hokage of Konoha.
"Senju Tsunade, your old teammate and my student," said Sarutobi, as he saw the shock on Jiraiya's face, and smirked when it went pale at the thought of running into the woman again. Tsunade never did forgive Jiraiya for that strip poker game she had with him when they got drunk that one time, and she woke up in with very little dignity with even less clothing on.
Oh. And Jiraiya had apparently taken several pictures he used for inspiration for some of his best-selling Icha Paradise books. Yep, Jiraiya was most definitely screwed.
Omake Shikamaru vs Tamari, the other version.
Troublesome. Maybe I should forfeit too since I'm fighting a girl again, said the lazy as usual Shikamaru, as he looked down to see Tamari waiting for him. And he gulped at the thought of the blonde in the arena meeting his mother, if the girl stayed in the leaf long enough.
Looks like someone is about to chicken out. I'll have to punish him for it, and I think I know how, thought Vergil, as he silently put down his sword before walking up behind Shikamaru with a demonic smile on his face, and struck, making the shadow user cry out for help. What's going on up there? thought Genma along with Tamari, as they heard Shikamaru yelling at Vergil to stop whatever he was doing, and what they saw happen next had shocked everyone.
Shikamaru was thrown out of the fighter's box. Shikamaru was thrown out of the fighter's box in only his underwear. Shikamaru was thrown out of the fighter's box in only his underwear, and landed right in front of Tamari, giving him a few up her skirt. "Eep! Pervert!" yelled Tamari as she took her iron fan and hit Shikamaru out of the stadium. That also involuntarily made the Nara male to lose his underwear. "Ah, the winner is Subaku no Tamari," said Genma, as he saw Shikamaru's boxers float down, and wondered where Tamari had Shikamaru had landed. With Shikamaru.
"Ow, damn it Vergil, you troublesome bastard, when I get my shadow-possessing hands on you, I'm going to, uh-oh," said Shikamaru, as he found himself in the hot springs on the female side, and in front of him was none other than Mitarashi Anko with an evil gleam in her eyes.
"Come here, little boy," said Anko, as she crackled her knuckles, and Shikamaru was now whimpering in a corner while shivering in fear. "Have mercy," said Shikamaru, as the woman hovered over him in a towel, and was shaking her head. "Show mercy? Where would the fun be in that? Now for the sake of what little sanity I have, scream for me," said Anko as she attacked without mercy, and poor Shikamaru complied with the special Jonin's request in screaming out in pain. Back at the Chunin exam stadium. "That was illogically called for Vergil-san," said Shino, as he saw Vergil turn to face him. And the Aburame felt his bug shiver when he did. "I speak softly, Shino, but make no mistake, I carry a big stick, and I will use when it is used best. Besides, you knew Shikamaru was going to forfeit, and that in itself is even more illogical," said Vergil, as he saw Shino nod at that, since that was true, and ignored the piercing look the half-devil was giving him. "As long as Tamari wins her match without making an effort, I don't really care," thought Kankuro, as he saw Tamari skip up the steps feeling happy, and then gave Vergil a shy look. "Thank you for the assist, Vergil-kun," said Tamari, as she pressed her fingers together in a very Hinata-like way, and blushed at being near him. "Okay, now I care," thought Kankuro, as he was itching to use his puppets, and would have had it not been for Gaara glaring at him. "You're most welcome, Tamari-chan," said Vergil, kissing her hand and making Tamari faint. "I'll kill him," thought Kankuro, as he was now livid, and moved to strike. Only to be sent flying by Tamari out of the fighter's box into the female hot springs, with Amko still Tora playing with the poor Nara.
"Oh look, I've gotten myself another playmate. It must be my birthday," said Anko, as turned her attention to Kankuro, and saw the man trying to get away to no avail.
Life was good for Mitarashi Anko right now, and it was all thanks to Namake's Vergil. Chapter 2. Devil's Gambit. Vergil walked through the streets of Konoha to the Hawkage Tower, as he was expected to speak to the councils regarding his transformation, and his name change all in one. Of course, the councils were going to dispute the claim of him being a Namake's, as they had no intention of the boy getting his hands on the vast knowledge and wealth that was in the large estate. However, what the councils wanted, they couldn't always get, as they would soon find out and learn the hard way when they discovered he was the son of the Yondai. He walked by the chestnut-haired secretary, who shot him a glare, but Vergil ignored the dumb woman and accidentally hit the woman in the side of the head with the butt end of his sheathed sword, hard enough to give her a killer headache for a good while. When Vergil entered the room, he saw the councils sitting on various sides to indicate what part of Konoha's government they represented, with the Hokage in the middle of this quite literally considered three-ring circus. On the Hokage's left were all the clan heads of Konoha with the exception of the Uchiha clan. To the right was the civilian council that dealt with all matters with the civilians of the Leaf, and in the center of it all, sitting next to the Hokage, was his esteemed shinobi council. "You asked for my presence, Hokage-sama," said Vergil, as he saw the civilian council members glaring at him with their main voice being Danzo, who looked at him with one calculating eye, and the shinobi council members that were the old man's old teammates doing the same. The clan heads kept their faces unreadable like Naruto's.
You were summoned here. You come here because we command you to, said Koharu, as she was not going to be ignored by this creature before her, and wanted the demon to know that he belonged to her so long as she was on the shinobi council.
Vergil simply tilted his head to look in her direction with a bored look on his face, before looking back at the Hawkage like the old woman was unimportant. Inwardly, however, the half-devil smirked at sensing the woman become irritated by his apparent disrespect, and had to keep his mouth from betraying him. As I said before, you asked for my presence, Hokage-sama, said Vergil, as he further felt Koharu become angered by his disrespect towards her, and in truth the entire shinobi council? Yes, Vergil-san, as it seems several members of nearly each section of government of the Leaf currently in this room are questioning your claim to the Namikaze line, said the old Sandame, as he had to hold back his smirk, and he knew Vergil was doing the same. Questioning. The mere mentioning of this thing being of Namikaze blood is an insult to the Yondaime and is blasphemy, said Homura, as he was not about to acknowledge that Vergil was the son of the Yondaime, and even if the boy was, he was nothing more than a bastard child sired with some whirlpool whore that spread her legs for the fourth just to be given a safe place to live. Really? Well, what if I told you that you insulted my father's memory the moment you let the villagers learn of the QB sealed inside of me, and made my life miserable from the start? I believe my father wanted to have me seen as a hero, but you go around and do the exact opposite. Why? Said Vergil, as he saw the old man next to the Hawkage look like he was about to blow a gasket, and the civilian council looked like they were about to do the same. Simple. You needed to be taught a lesson on who is the superior species in this world, you abomination, said Danzo, though inwardly he was cursing at not getting the boy for himself to put in his secret root program, and molding him into the perfect weapon.
So you think humans are the superior species in this world? What a poor joke you are in believing that, said Vergil, as he saw Danzo frown at that, and so did the others around him.
Vergil, we're not here to talk such semantics with you, but the claim that you are the Yondaime's son. And I have the means to prove it, said the Sandame, pulled out a scroll that had the Hokage's seal on it before breaking it open to reveal a marriage certificate for the boy's parents and birth certificate that was signed by them before the QB had attacked. This is, said Hayashi, as he looked at the certificates, showing that Minato had indeed married Kushina, and the signatures below their own for witnesses was none other than Jiraiya of the Sannin. Yes. I wed the two in secret, with one of the witnesses being the Yondaime's own sensei, with the other being the Yondaime's own student Inuzuka Rin, said Sarutobi, as he had the council's beat, and the clan heads on his side since the laws of Konoha were quite clear on this, with them now being in Vergil's favor. I will not accept these documents to be genuine. I demand we vote on this matter on whether or not the boy is allowed to have the Namikaze name. If it goes against the so-called Namikaze, then he must renounce all claims to the clan and have his mind wiped before being banished from the Leaf forever, said a man on the civilian council who was in charge of the merchant district and had made sure none of the shops welcomed the demon into their stores. I agree, said Koharu, as she knew that the civilian council and the shinobi council would remove this Thin's claim to the Namikaze line and remove the beast from the Leaf forever. So do I, said Homura, as he believed the same thing as Koharu and knew they had the demon beat. You forget that under Konoha laws for such an occasion, the voting can only be done by the clan heads, since this is a clan-based matter, and it is up to them to decide if Vergil is worthy of being considered a Namikaze heir, said the Sandame, as he knew the civilian council and the shinobi council would move against his surrogate grandson in this way. Damn it, thought Koharu and Homura, as they saw Vergil smirk at them before looking at the clan heads and saw them smirking too. I say the boy's lineage is genuine, said Hayashi, as he raised a thumbs up to indicate his vote, and made a mental note to have Hinata spend more time with Vergil.
So do I, said Inoichi, as he raised his thumb up, and saw his old teammate Shuza do the same with his right thumb, and Shikaku next to him also giving a very lazy thumb upward since it was too troublesome to go against the current flow of things.
The information before us clearly shows Vergil is the rightful heir to the Namikaze clan, and therefore it is only logical that the Aburame clan shows its support too, said Shibi, as he raised his hand and gave a thumbs up. I agree with Shibi here. This pup has a lot of potential that he got from both sides of his parents, and the documents before us show he's not some illegitimate child. Even if by chance he was, I would still favor the kid and say let him have what's his, said Sume, as she aimed her thumb upward too, and mentally noted to have Hannah get to know this kid, since he looked like strong alpha male material. Very well, it's decided then. Vergil is allowed to have the Namikaze clan name, all of his inheritance, and the estate that holds everything within it. Another matter that I have been meaning to take care of is to immediately end the Gakyubi festival that is always held on Vergil's birthday. I hereby announce that the festival will now end, and to restart it for any reason will result in the punishment of all responsible parties, including the people in this room, said Hiruzen, as he saw the councils protest this, and were silenced by the Vergil walking towards the center of the table before slamming his now demonic fist through it to shut them all up. I know why you protest this action concerning the Kyubi festival being ended by the Sandaime, as it means that the people will no longer have a chance to hate me, like they do every year, and make attempts to end my life like they did when I was younger. So I will tell you this right now, if anyone comes after me on my birthday with the intent to do me harm, I will destroy them, and anyone in this room responsible for it, said Vergil, as he took the documents of his parents' union and his birth certificate before leaving the room.